Coach McElwain, how are you?
How the heck you doing, man? What's going on, bud?
Did you have a good day upstairs?
Oh, I always have a good day. You know, it's how you approach the whole deal anyway. You know, if you approach it as misery, it's going to be misery, right? You make the best of it as you can.
Sure. And you know, listen, hard work to me is laying blocks. It's working in an operating room.
Yeah.
I get a chance to talk college football for a living.
It's doing what Brian Harden does, for Christ's sakes. I mean, he works,
how would you like to do like what he does? I mean, that's a lunch pail type mentality.
I'm telling you. So,
yeah. And here I am talking college football with an SEC coach.
It's a lot of fun. And now, you know, I look at this too. Everybody's got a job to do, you know, and if we can help them do their job, that's what it's all about.
Well, let me just say this. I'm not even going to ask you the question. I've been going off for about 45 minutes on my media friends. Mm-hmm. I'm embarrassed of some of the questions that got thrown to you upstairs.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable, and yet it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, but I've scolded my media friends. I literally said, if you're talking to Jim McElwain, why would you waste time? So let's not waste time. Let's talk football.
There you go.
You got 9 starters on the offensive side of the football coming back.
Yeah.
This should be an explosive team on that side.
You know what? I'm really excited. I'm saying this. I think the position of strength for us is our offensive line, which is the first time. You know, when we got there, we inherited 4 scholarship O-linemen. That's all we had. We were able to piecemeal together that first year, and even last year we had to grab some guys off the street a little bit to get it going. But I really feel that that's going to be a position of strength, which is really going to help us.
When you look at what you guys are trying to do in year number 3, how much closer are you than when you first walked in of trying to get people to buy into your philosophy?
Well, I don't know. The buy-in piece, our team has been great. And I think probably it's the buy-in within the total organization sometimes, you know, because a lot of people get stuck in ways that they've done it for a long time. And sometimes they're afraid of the new ideas that you know, it takes, and it also puts people out of comfort zone. I am excited about where our organization is. I think we're starting to get what it takes to be successful, and understanding that there is no detail that is so little that cannot, you know, you can't overlook it. You got to deal with it when it happens and not let it bite you at the end, and I think we're starting to get that.
When you look right now, you're 53 days, and I think it's a statement game for the SEC. When you look at the Michigan Wolverines and the Florida Gators going toe-to-toe in Arlington, when you look, what is the one thing that's keeping you sort of not up at night, but what's that one concern that you have about that you want to find an answer early in camp about your team?
Well, I'd really like to find out if we're going to be able to rush the passer without having to put guys on islands. I think that's one of the things that's big for me, and because we're going to have a young secondary, that doesn't mean they're not talented. Okay, that's different. They just haven't played that much. So I'd like to be able to not necessarily have them on an island all day trying to create some pressure against the passer.
Let me ask you also, when you look at Malik Zaire coming in and you haven't established someone's been in that locker room, how do you manage team chemistry when you're bringing in a transfer?
Well, I think, you know, we did it with Austin Appleby a year ago that ended up, you know, when Luke went down, he came in and did an excellent job for us. We're just now at the roster balance piece where we actually have really what we want as far as number of scholarship quarterbacks. But with that being said, he's a guy that has an infectious personality. Here's what it answered to me. I'll be straight up. The fact that for him to get admitted as a graduate student to the University of Florida, which is not easy, one of his recommendation letters came from the president of Notre Dame. Tells you what kind of kid he is.
And you're right. I mean, when you look at that, and that's important to our game.
Yeah.
I went through Gainesville the other day. I thought about calling and, you know, saying hello and see if you could buy me some dinner. But I mean, you have to be enjoying life. The weather there is great. I mean, I know Colorado was good to you, but you traded snow for Gainesville? I mean, how does that work out?
Well, understand that I just did show back up from Flathead Lake in Montana, which is where I'm from, Missoula, and I go back.
But you found
there.
some sun wherever you
That's where it was. I mean, it was in the 90s during the days and 50s at night, man, with no humidity. What a great place to be.
when you look at the SEC, when you look at this league, obviously what Nick Saban has been able to do, how do you close the gap?
Well, you know, it's one of the things I think that shows how great he is he continually pushes for what's next. He never sets back. I think when you look at, even from the time when I was there, the difference, I don't even recognize the place. Every year they continue to build. Because if you don't continue to move forward, someone else is. That's when you get run by. And I think for us, it happened to us at the University of Florida a little bit. You know, sunshine and palm trees only sell so much. And teams have really done an outstanding job in a lot of different areas. And I think Coach has been able to really continue to push that forward. And more than that, he's gotten the support from the people around the university to help him be successful.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I mean, we're covering, no doubt, a great, unique run. And, you know, we've been a part of the 60s, 70s and what he's doing. And you were a huge part of that. And, you know, but could you imagine working with Nick Saban after losing a championship game?
You know, I'd actually, believe it or not, as stupid as this sounds, I'd actually kind of enjoy it.
Would you really?
Because here's the one thing. It's not as miserable as everybody thinks. And you make it miserable because you're not willing to put into work. That's usually what it is.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Hey, I appreciate you coming by and swinging, talking some football. And
it's always great to see. And as always, that experience we had in Tuscaloosa. In fact, this year will be the third one of my kids who will have graduated from the University of Alabama. So I'll be back to see Jarrett's graduation, and certainly looking forward to that.
What's his degree? What will it be in?
You know, he's in consumer science, and yet I think he probably wants to get into some kind of ball, believe it or not. So I'm trying to talk him out of it.
Yeah, but you know it's such a rewarding profession. I mean, to be able to impact young people's life the way that you guys do, you're caught up in the moment. But when you're in your later years and someone walks up to you and talks about how you changed their family tree, forget about championships, man. That's life. I mean,
it is.
That's rewarding about that profession that you guys are in, and that's where I see it. The characters that you guys change. It's amazing, the impact of 105 lives. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, man.
Have a great one.
Great talking with you.